first session with Plum. She's an 18-year-old thoroughbred, and the owner has really been struggling with her and bolting behavior. Basically, she gets overly excited slash anxious. Her worry cup kind of explodes. Especially when the owner starts introducing jumping or even just foster work like cantering. Plum does not seem to be able to handle that increase in adrenaline, and she's not able to regulate her emotions to come back down. So we've got to find a way where we can reach her to start sorting out these issues. So the other problem I was finding with Plum is that she is very, very obedient. Now, very, very obedient doesn't sound like an issue, but it can be an issue for a horse that has issues. And you kind of have to go through another layer. If there's a high level of obedience, you've got to find another way in, because a lot of the exercises that you will ask of her, she will do out of obedience, even though she's not happy with them. So you're never really getting to the root of the problem. You could also say that she knows her job too well, and it's kind of like she'll do it like a robot, but the emotion is lacking. And unfortunately, even though she can do simple exercises quite well, she's not able to handle excitement or pressure when it does arise. So with her, I had to actually find another way in. I've got a few exercises that I present to a horse that I can kind of get to that threshold and work from there. So yeah, I had to be quite creative with this first session and finding a way to get that anxiety and to work it on that level. I'm really sorry about this video footage. I don't know what went wrong, so I'm sorry that it's really jerky. But basically what I'm doing is walking next to her, almost mirroring her, and that she did not like, and she didn't know, so it was out of her comfort zone. And that is why I used this exercise, to be able to start working on those deeper levels within her, where all the tension and anxiety is starting from, that is causing the bolting behavior. So all I did was I walked alongside her, which got her quite riled up, and she would either be trotting really fast or cantering, and I kept with it until she could start to settle down. And what she'd tend to do is, once she did slow down, she would want to come in and stop, which is essentially a form of freezing. And it's almost like, as her owner actually says, she's all or nothing. She's either bolting and running, or she's frozen. She doesn't know how to be in between. And that's a very good indicator of a horse that generally does carry a lot of anxiety. They're not able to just go normally. It's either stop or go really fast, and kind of get a bit out of control. So what I was doing was I would wait for her to come back to a calmer pace, and then when she tried to turn in, I would actually just keep her going. In the beginning, she couldn't stay at a walk. When I asked her to keep going, she would have to go back into a trot, just because the level of her tension was still quite high. So there you can see I'm actually sending her back out. And we had to do that a couple of times till she could actually find that in-between gear where she could actually walk and not stop or canter, for instance, or go at a really fast trot. So that took her a while, and that really there is the crux of her bolting issue. And it will be a process to go over and over it until she can find it quite naturally on her own. And as she was kind of learning this exercise and how to be able to go at a normal pace and be able to collect herself that way, there I'm actually crouching down, just taking the pressure off a little more, and then she tries to come in as soon as I did that. So I sent her back out, and I think she started picking up a trot again. And I think on the next round she was able to actually maintain a walk. So yeah, so I discouraged her coming in at that point, because for her that is not going to help her at this time. So besides her being able to just walk calmly, and let's say smoothly, because that kind of stop or start is quite a jerky movement, which shows it's a reflection of her state of mind, essentially. And if I could say then that the jerky movements in her body, meaning the all or nothing, is reflection of her inner state of being and her mind. So what you see when she's able to start walking in a rhythm at a normal pace without freezing or going fast is that her thoughts organize themselves to the same effect. Another sign that you can look out for is she should progress in this exercise by showing you that she is understanding the exercise. So you should see a lot of licking and chewing, which is definitely the horse processing things and coming down from a heightened state and able to process that coming down. If their mouth is very tense and stiff and there's no reaction or movement, then they may not be processing things the way they should be processing things. And the other thing you want to see is every now and then, and I'm sorry again for the video, but you may not see it so clearly, but her head would actually come down, even just for a brief second, to show that she was indeed getting the concept. Okay, so here she has started to be able to walk in a normal way. And because she's doing so well at this, I actually ask her now to see if she can go into a trot and transition nicely between a trot and back to a walk on her own. So there you can see I just asked her, and when I brought my energy down, she did come down, but there she stops. So I want to keep her going. She's always trying to run away, whether it's bolting or turning. She doesn't want to face something when she's uncomfortable. So this is really good information for her, and she's going to be able to really learn how to cope with new things and things that she finds or perceives as scary or uncomfortable. So here I've actually gone, and because I saw her trying to turn all the time, I decided to actually work a little bit on this exercise in particular. And I started walking closer to her to see how she felt about it. And you see she keeps trying to turn around because she's so uncomfortable with the whole thing. And I just keep asking her to go forward. And if she does try and turn around, I block her. Basically, I want her to know that running away is never going to be the answer. Walking calmly, letting her her legs be free moving, her mind be free moving, is going to ultimately be the best feeling position for her to be in. And I'm going to assist her by learning that, by blocking the wrong answers that aren't going to improve her at all. So I'm just carrying on here, walking next to her, and she's doing really well, and she's able to maintain it for longer and longer. But you can see she's kind of frozen here. She really did just freeze there, and then you really want to encourage them to move on when they freeze like that. And I think because she started doing this so well, decided to see if we could get her back into a trot again with me right next to her. And because she's unsure about the exercise, she hasn't had someone ask her to go forward from her side, it will take her a little while, but I'd rather have that than do something she knows and that she's obedient about. So what I do is I don't really increase the pressure. I do very slightly, but I'm kind of rather giving her time to really think about what I'm asking rather than increasing the pressure too much. And eventually she trots, and then I kind of drop my energy and see if she can come back down on her own, which she does very nicely here. And I'm asking her again now to trot, and again I'm going to be quite patient in the beginning. Plus, I don't have a whip or anything on me, so I'm really just using my hat, which is going to be a more gentle way of getting her going. So there she goes into a trot again. And you can see she's licking and chewing there quite a lot. Her tongue's coming out, lots of mouth movements there. And then she goes back into a walk. I just picked my hat up there just to remind her not to stop. It's important that she keeps walking at this stage. And then I think we ended it there for the day. So we'll see what she's like in the next session.